Welcome back. Been trying to get around to this all week. It was Sunday last time I played, and now it's very much not Sunday anymore. Seems like forever, and I know I've got very little left to do. I just need to like wrap things up here. But here we go. I've finally managed to squeeze some time into my very, very busy schedule. I say that with a laugh because I notoriously do not have a busy schedule. That's how I'm able to play video games on YouTube on a pretty regular basis. But yeah, this week has just been one of those weeks, you know. So apologies that it's taken me this long to get around to this, but we are going to finish it this time. It's kind of annoying that I apparently just hadn't saved in fucking ever. It looks like I assume I still have my schmauder. Yeah, I still have to go around and do the curing, and then wait for the cathedral to open up again, so got a bit of time to kill yet. I'll save once I'm over by the cathedral this time, just in case anything goes bad again. To be fair, I wasn't really expecting anything to go bad last time. I kind of thought everything was on the level at that point, but yeah, there was more, it turned out. Can they be helped? Alright, I'll think of something. Here's some schmauder. It's apparently a magical cure-all. Pretty crazy, I think. Pretty wacky, that. How do I still not know where the exits to this compound are? Gotta go back this way, don't I? Yeah, I can't believe... I mean, I've not combed back over all the many hours of footage of myself playing this game to confirm, but I am certain I saw schmauder for sale at least twice throughout the time I was playing the game. And just, I mean, to be fair, it says it reduces or cures, one of the two. It might say straight up cures infection at a great cost to health. And obviously health has always been something I've struggled with all game. Like, my health has been, you know, at best, sort of in the middle of the bar most of the game. So I've not been that willing to sacrifice it to cure infection, especially knowing that I can whip up dead gruel as of about day 4 or 5 or whenever that started. So yeah, it never seemed like the best option really to buy the schmauder, but now that I know what it does, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. I don't know if this game clearly has multiple endings, right? There's at very least a bad end and a good end for each character, and it looks like you can get what I'm assuming are other characters' endings, right? If I was to take the Bachelor or Clara's quest on this final day and go cure all their adherents and then pick their decision, I can get their ending, I guess, or, you know, quote unquote their ending, that version of the ending. So at the very least there's 4 endings, a bad one and a good one, a universal bad one and a good one for each character. It's possible they each have their own unique bad one. I'm wondering if you get anything for, like, saving literally everyone. I don't even know if that's possible. I suppose it is. I mean, you just gotta farm the shit out of the schmauder, right? I mean, I managed to whip 2 up in this last day without really knowing what I was doing, so I mean, if I'd been planning for it ahead, I probably could have got enough schmauder to save everyone. I don't know if that would mean anything, if there's any benefit to doing that, but I'm just thinking, you know, because I am intending to play through. Aha! I thought that's what that was. You saw me beeline for that then, didn't you? There was a herb there. They're not common, but you can find them. Turns out. Good to know. Good to know. Again, something to remember for my future playthroughs. Mr. Dankovsky and Mrs. Clara Croft. I tried playing, just mentioning Lara Croft. I'm a big retro game nerd. I love my old games. I was raised on the Sega Saturn, so I've been, like, casually trying to collect a lot of classic Sega Saturn games for the console I still have. I was playing some Tomb Raider not so long ago, goddamn early 3D games were a mess, weren't they? Have you tried going back to the first Tomb Raider? I don't know, I can't remember if you have any better camera control if you were to play it on the PlayStation with the DualShock controller. I don't think so though. I think it predates the existence of the DualShock, so you're always just going to have like tank movement and really dodgy camera controls, and it's a cool game. There's a lot to like about Tomb Raider, but god damn it is pretty much unplayable by today's standards, that game. Pretty much unplayable. Okay, so look how good my bars are. You're so good about having good bars. It's a small thing to be proud of, but it's a thing to be proud of nonetheless. To see the time, isn't it? Right, okay, it's about 3 o'clock. We need to wait till 7. We'll skip forward 3 hours then to 6, because I don't want to overshoot, because I don't know what happens if you overshoot by too much. I don't want to miss my meeting. That could be real bad, you know. Hippity hop over to 6 PM then. It feels so weird in this game to just be killing time like this. This game has made it abundantly clear that killing time is a bad thing. What was that letter I just got? Did I read all these before? I guess I did. Yeah, it's just Aglaya and Block chatting shit again. Fair enough. Fair enough. Tis what tis, you know. Alright, so now we just gotta wait, I suppose. Look at him nodding his head to my banging tunes. They're very weird fellas, aren't they? They're very weird fellas. Obviously they've got the Plague Doctor aesthetic, but it's like the robe and mask is all like a single garment. There's no seams. It is seamless. So they just kind of look like a big thumb with a hook on the end. And the way they wriggle as well. The way they squirm. Have they got blood splashed on that mask as well? Is that what that is? God. What a grim game. Doesn't do anything by halves, does Pathologic, does it? Hello. Yeah, okay, whatever. Probably should have just slept till 7, really. I think it would have given me at least an hour window to go in and do my thing, but I just really didn't want to miss it. I'd hate to have to load and start again. You know what I mean? I'm very intrigued. Obviously, I know Pathologic 2 overhauled a lot of things, but I wonder how much is different between the remastered version I'm playing now and the original. Because the skybox is very pretty. These, the leaf particles I mentioned before, the ground clutter being quite impressive. I wonder if that is all like additions in the remastered version. I also noticed that a lot of the character models, well, not a lot of them, some of the character models seem higher quality than others. I wonder if that's down to the remaster as well. I kind of want to have a little look-see at the original to see how drastically different the visuals are. Just killing time, pal. Just hanging out on the steps of the cathedral. If you can do it, why can't I? I really want to know what I did wrong last time. I'll have to make sure to thoroughly speak to everyone before I leave the cathedral to get absolute certainty of what I'm supposed to be doing. Because I feel like I was definitely pointed towards the polyhedron, told to evacuate the kids or whatever, right? That seems like that's what Block was telling me, but I couldn't get in. There was no one there. There was no one to speak to. There was no way of like teleporting inside it or whatever. It was just sort of a nothing burger. And then the guards killed me. And I couldn't get back in the cathedral, and it was very traumatic, honestly. It's very traumatic, the things I experienced. I don't want to repeat of that, so we're going to make sure we're fully clued up. We're fully in the know, as much as in the know as you can possibly be while playing Pathologic anyway. I'm not a massive YouTube guy, funny for someone who constantly uploads to it, but I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I keep getting recommended H-Bomber guy, you know, the dude who does like the fucking 4-hour like video essays on various subjects. He did a video on this game, and I keep getting recommended that, probably because YouTube's like, hey, you're clearly playing this. you should check it out. But I don't want to click it because I feel like it's going to like spoiler the remains of the game for me. But I'm intrigued to see his take on it, because he tends to dig into things pretty thoroughly, and will hopefully unravel a few of the threads I'm just straight up not getting. But I will leave that until after I've played through the other 2 campaigns, so it's going to be a while. That video's going to sit in my backlog for a while, I think, at this point. There we go. Oh, keep pressing that fucking button. How do I keep doing that? Such clumsy fingers. Let me through! Yeah, I know. I know who's here. Can I skip this? I can't skip this. I guess we'll just look at them again then. She's mad. She is angry about something. What could it possibly be? Certainly not the fact that she's potentially being used as a sacrifice. Hello.
Premonitions.
I was. If I'm catched and taken off the board, then the commander will be free to make his move. If you choose Capella's path, then I'll live. If you choose Clara's or Bachelor's path, then you'll lead me to the scaffold and fulfill your purpose. Well, I'm not choosing their paths because they're not here. I'm definitely choosing Capella's, sorry. How does Capella's path save you, though? Speak to her yourself, but she is the only one who can help you keep this town alive. And this is essential for saving me. What's the price of this solution? You know the answer. The polyhedron, the cause of the plague, will be destroyed. That is what Alexander Block demanded, and he has to spend some ammo for his report. The town will survive, and that is my pardon warrant. That is how you fulfill your destiny. But the sacrifice? The destruction of the polyhedron is quite an adequate sacrifice. The butchers may bar you from reaching the blood, but you'll be able to take it on your own. Although I should refrain from offering you any advice, my advice is dangerous. I must think now. And think I shall. Anything else to say?
It will be as you choose.
I spoke to them all pretty thoroughly.
The children no longer.
I'll just click through all this. Anything else to add? No, okay. And click through all this.
I haven't.
I'm not going to tell her to die. Okay.
We're being manipulated.
You only have to destroy the polyhedron. So there's a certain deposit beneath the town that would allow you to make enough panacea. Rumour has it it's blood. Indeed. How do you prove this choice is sensible? Here are my arguments, the panacea, blah 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 blah. I have seen a report claiming the kin will not let you have this blood unless you kill the Inquisitor. Is that true? It is. How are you going to kill her? I'm not. We will destroy the tower, the blood will pour out from the tear in the ground. That will be enough. True. That's what I've been told. Victoria Oglibskaya, styled the White Mistress despite her young age, confirms that you're capable of accomplishing this goal. The people you have saved support your claim. Act then. The cannons will rumble at 10 to 12. Evacuate your children from there by then. Evacuate the children from there. So do I just need to go around and talk to my bound? Is that what this is about, basically? Just go around and talk to all the kids. Is that what it means by evacuate the children? I can't remember if I tried that last time. I walked past Murky's. I can't remember if I went in or not, though. Because it clearly isn't talking about the polyhedron, because we couldn't get in the polyhedron. Anything else to add? Farewell, General Ashes. Is that his name? Block Ashes? What a fucking man. Holy shit.
If the
It is impossible to change the choice you've made. Yes, it isn't. No question escapes my lips. I'm not asking anything of you. We'll leave this place, you and me together. I meant well.
We need to go back to the front.
Alright. I mean, I guess we can just wait for 10 to 12. I guess that's how the ending happens, but... This guy won't speak to me. I can't go back in. And then this guy just disappeared, right? He just wasn't here after I went to the polyhedron and back. Well, let's say there's no point going back at the polyhedron. We know that's empty. Where's the nearest kid, then? Is it... I don't think there's anyone in this side of town, right? I'm trying to think who the kids are. Capella herself. Grace is in the far right. Sticky's in the far right. The creepy one in the dollhouse is in the far right. Notkin and Murky are both in the middle. Is that it? Oh, this Khan. I can't speak to Khan. And Tyre. Who I have no idea where Tyre is. I feel like I have spoken to Tyre at some point, but couldn't tell you where. Couldn't tell you where she is. Is her house on the map? Probably is, right? The windows of this house are bricked in. That's nice. Tyre, Tyre cheek. Where do you live, Tyre cheek? Tyre cheek. Aspity, that's the creepy one. Yeah, she doesn't appear to exist. That's weird. I guess I won't worry about it. Let's just head for Murky. Let's head for Murky. See what Murky has to say about the situation. As I say, the game's going to end at 10 to 12 anyway, but I just really don't want to fuck anything up right now, you know? I really don't want this to... me to fall flat on my fucking face at the last hurdle. I don't know when he said evacuate the children, if that was like I might be reading too much into that. I might be thinking, you know, that's an actual quest, even though it hasn't been logged in my quest log, when really it's just like flavour, you know? It's just like, oh yeah, make sure the kids get out, but the kids will get out regardless. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I feel like we made the decision, so like we got to the end, we've selected the ending we want. It's weird that it doesn't just happen, to be honest. It's weird that we have this extra stretch of time if I'm not supposed to do something with it. Don't you think? I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing about this game isn't weird. It's not exactly unheard of for Pathologic to be a bit... to shirk tradition when it comes to its game design. Yeah, What is this? Is this like an unloading crane or something? Kind of looks like electrodes or magnets or something. It looks like some big like gizmo. Hey, Murky.
I'm damp and washed out.
There's nothing for me here anymore. Yeah, I did speak to Murky. I don't think she's changed what she says, to be honest. I think that's just her final day chat that she does. I don't know, man. Maybe they're just giving me a bit more time. I guess it's so you have time to go to the cathedral before midnight? They give you like a 5-hour window to go do it. I guess that's probably it. So really all I have to do now is wait. That's a lot of shit I'm assuming there. But all it talks about is the choice, right? It doesn't consider, like, it hasn't moved on, it hasn't given me anything new to do now that I've made the choice, so I feel like I'm done. And it's a damn shame that I wasn't able to wrap up last video realistically, considering there was nothing else to do. I just had to wait. Oh well, never mind. Never mind. Classic Joe move, innit? I wouldn't be me if I didn't do shit like this.
The outcast children live, the town will grow to be a town of men.
I will become a spiritual leader. That is the power that's worth any army. This boy is so sinister. All the kids are a bit sinister, honestly. She's probably the least sinister. Yeah, that's it. Clean yourself down, least sinister person. But the little tiny kids are terrifying. Both the girl and the boy, they're like some fucking Shining shit, you know? La 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 la. Killing time then. I mean, I could just sleep, couldn't I? If I really want to kill time, I could just sleep into midnight. I've arranged it with Blockhead that he's not going to shell the town, so it's not like I'll be in any danger if I just sleep, unless I'm sleeping in the polyhedron, which, as established, I'm not allowed in. I'm not cool enough to go into the polyhedron, so oh. That's cool. Can walk this way, but not that way. Wow. Incredible discovery. Put that one down in the record books. The 9th of February 2023. A great discovery was made. There's a bit of terrain in Pathologic that you can't walk along properly. A second bit of terrain. There's also, you know, the stairs. The stairs. The ones. If you don't know which ones I'm talking about, then you clearly haven't been watching this Let's Play. Let's go see Grace. See what Grace has to say on the final day. I can't imagine things bother her a great deal, right? Like she just watches over the dead. What happens to the living isn't really her concern. Oh no! Oh no, any other time in this game I'd be upset about that. Right now though, couldn't give a shit. Couldn't give a shit. There's not enough time left for me to die. And that's a beautiful thing to know.
What?
Capella and I owe you so much. I'm only alive because of you, aren't I? Tell me, why does Capella need you? I will replace the second mistress. That means Capella thinks I'll manage to. She says I'm shining bright, but unlike hers, my glimmer isn't thick, but rather transparent and very pale. What for? Each of us will tug the power in our own direction. She'll tug a bit upwards and I'll tug downwards. We'll tune life together, opposing each other, like Nina and Victoria before, but for real. Moreover, I'll help her make the lines into a circle. At least that's my understanding. I hope you manage. Okay, I didn't know she was... I mean, I knew she was creepy. I didn't know she had the gift, the magic brain power that they all seem to have around here. I thought Capella was the only kid who had that sort of shit going down. But Grace is one too, it seems. She's also a mistress. Very interesting. How about Aspity? I'm really just finding out what these kids' plans for the future are now. That's all I'm doing with my remaining time in this game. What do you want to be when you grow up, little girl? Creepy doll maker, maybe? Did she always have two?
My path was called Earth. I could have told you why the thick soil has nothing to do with the catastrophe.
I forgot she just has like an old woman's voice. It's very weird. Thank you. I need to live a little longer. There's one more thing that needs to be done. My death will not be purposeless now. What kind of thing? I am to perform the most precious feat of all, the feat of self-sacrifice. I will do what Simon has done. Every single particle of my body and soul will become life-bearing, bursting with life and granting it to others. There will be no cannon fire. The town will continue to grow. The thread to the future will stretch from the very dawn of time. But you won't last long. You won't be enough. Consider Simon's fate. We are too few now, but if there's at least a dozen of us, it will be enough for the town to expand further and beyond. Hopefully the place where daydreams are captured and fulfilled will live to see 200 years more. And how many of those like me have survived? I don't care. I wanted to save your life, not for the sake of future sacrifices. She was talking metaphorically there, right? And she was talking about, like, sacrificing herself to bear seeds and grow shit, whatever she was on about. She's talking about just being, like, one of the key players. She's going to give her life to the town, basically. She's going to be someone who devotes herself to helping the town grow and flourish, sort of thing, is what she was meaning by all that shit. I think, anyway. You never know with this game. It could have been literal. She might go and slit her throat on a rock somewhere. Give herself back to Bodo, you know. It's getting quite dark, isn't it? 9 o'clock. Less than 3 hours remain. Wonder what Sticky has to say about his future goals. I mean, he's kind of like Murky in that he's literally like a tiny, tiny child, right? Sticky always struck me as like someone who shouldn't be getting involved with any shit, even though he was quite involved with some shit. Because he looks about 6. Like with like Notkin and Capella, it's like they're, you know, early teens sort of age. You can sort of say, okay, fair enough, they're sort of prepping themselves to positioning themselves for future power or whatever. But this is like a tiny, tiny child. This is a little baby boy. Hello, little baby boy. What would we do without your help? That means you'll be just like your father by the time we grow up. What, dead? Fuck you, man. I've already become what my father was. Nothing else to say?
My path.
What are you planning to do with your life? I will be the axis for the wheel to spin around, a future ruler with a new sign. I trust Capella. A new sign? What do you mean? The Kane-Oglimsky-Sabarov triangle is over. There will be no more termites, utopians, or humbles. The 3 powers are gone almost without a trace now. There's nothing but memories now. We need new forces and new signs. The old rulers are gone, except for you. Will you protect our little town until we come of age? I'll protect it after you come of age, too. Don't get ahead of yourself. As I say, very weird for words like that to come out of a tiny, tiny little boy. But it is what it is. You can't expect normalcy from Pathologic. Is that all of them? Have I spoken to everyone now? Aside from Taya Tai Cheek, wherever she may be. I definitely have spoken. That's the thing. I definitely have spoken to Taya Tai Cheek before. I know she exists somewhere. Oh, is she the... She's the fucking mother, isn't she? She's the Mother Superior. She must be. Process of elimination. The name doesn't sound right, but... So she should be in the termitary. Presumably. Presumably. Presume makes a prez of you and me, but that's alright. I'll be the prez. And I'm not bothered by that. It's very blocky, isn't it? Very severe architecture compared to like the quite fancy. I don't know. I'm not an architect. I don't know the correct terminology, but you know, these houses, they look quite nice. Got a little bit of flair and design to them, and then this thing's just a cube. Which side's she going to be in, do you think? I'm not used to having access to all of this. It's normally all locked. I know Clara was in here, but she seems to have pissed off now that I've made my choice. But yeah, the mother was in here at first, and then she moved to the other side, so I assume she's still going to be in the other side, but we'll check this side first. Just because I like climbing infinite staircases, apparently. This is how I choose to spend my remaining time with Pathologic. My dwindling seconds in this world coming to an end with me climbing a fucking spiral staircase. Yeah, there's nothing here, is there? She was stood here originally. This entire area seems very pointless. You literally come to it, you know, aside from just now, Clara being in here at the very end of the game. The only other time I had to come in here at all was to speak to, I guess, Tyre. That one time, and it was for a quest that there was zero chance of me doing. I can't remember what it was she wanted. She wanted like 50 of something, didn't she? Like, no matter what the item is, it was an absolutely absurd quantity. It might have been like these things, alpha tablets. I mean, if it's 50 of them, I've got 48 of them now. You know, you can get them quite easily by going on a murder spree, turns out. But obviously you need to prep in advance. There's no way I could have got them on the day. It just was not going to happen. Was it over here? Do I need to go another floor up yet? So I thought all these guys were going to like hate me now. Because I didn't do their thing. I did the other thing. And now they're not going to let me get the blood. That was the understanding, I believe. But I mean, I'm glad they're not all trying to murder me. Happily take not getting murdered today over the alternative. Miss Tai Cheek, I presume. God, you're hard to talk to. I'm alive and it's you who made it so. Thank you, thank you. Does it mean you'll be helping me from now on? Who told you that? Capella did. You'll become the foreman and the most important person in the kin now. Everyone will follow your words like they did with Dad. With Dad? With Dad? Is she the son of the daughter of the foreman? It's possible. And I'll always be... It's possible they've told me that and I just didn't realise it. And I'll always be at your side now that you know that we're together and the kin loves you. That's what she promised me. Why are you so happy? You were the only one they listened to before. What do you think happens now? I'll step aside a bit, but I'll help you and connect you with everybody. It doesn't bother me, the new mistresses, even though they... Wait. I won't bother the new mistresses, even though I really want to. It's all Capella's design, even though I don't really get it. Is it she who told you all this? Yes, she said there'll be 4 nodes instead of 3 from now on. The 4th one is me, standing aside a bit. Well, I mean, there always must have been 4 nodes, but no one noticed it before. I think things will be better now than they used to be. I hope so. So yeah, the great families are sort of disappearing, but I mean, Capella's the daughter of one of them. Khan's the son of another. But they're saying there's still going to be 4 nodes. Are we thinking Notkin's going to be the 4th one then? I don't know. He seems to be like positioning himself as a military force to be reckoned with sort of thing. So I don't know if that's going to be in service to someone else or if it's going to be one of these 4 leaders, I guess, that they're on about. I guess Grace is also a possibility if she's also a mistress. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm doing my best to wrap my brain around this game. I really am. I just revel in the skybox. It's quite a nice skybox, isn't it? It's quite a nice one. Very cloudy, but very believable. That's what the sky looks like sometimes, that is. Got clouds in it and shit. Bit stationary. If it was ever so slightly revolving, it would be Probably slightly more believable, but looks nice. When everything else is said and done, really nothing left to do but drink in the majesty of the skybox, huh? 2 hours remain. Oh, an hour and a half. What do we do with it? How do we spend our remaining time on this mortal coil before Block turns his guns on me? It's already very clear that the army will still gun me down in cold blood if I go near them, so I mean, I'm not off the hook yet, it seems. I'm trying to like retroactively piece together what the fuck went on in this game. Like the dogheads were in service to Khan at the Polyhedron, right? So why did they abduct the Bachelor? Because he was on their side, right? Or did they like brainwash him when they abducted him? Did they convert him? I don't know. Maybe if I played through the Bachelor's campaign, that's something that might get cleared up a little bit. I wonder how that part plays out. Presumably I don't just sit in prison and wait for Barack to come bust me out, right? I'll probably bust out myself like Barack did in his own campaign. That probably makes sense. Yeah. God, do you remember that busting out of prison sequence? Holy fuck. That took a few attempts, didn't it? It was one of the many times where I had to save and reload about 1 trillion times to get through one very specific part of this game. Certainly wasn't alone, but it was one of them. Possibly the first big one. The first time I got truly, like, browbeaten into having to min-max the fuck out of a part of gameplay. Eventually that just sort of became second nature, huh? Just sort of accepted it eventually. That sometimes you're gonna be on the verge of dying when you eat that handful of nuts you found in the bin, you know? It's just the way it goes sometimes. Nothing going on here tonight. You aren't allowed in here, Barack. Some of our actors are still standing guard by the doors of some of our patrons. The regular audience, so to speak. So the theatre is closed. So you mean that until at least one mask is standing guard at the door? Wait, so you mean that... So you mean that until at least... So you mean that until at least one mask is standing guard at the door of at least one doomed person? So you mean that until at least one mask is standing guard at the door of at least... It's like a differential equation. I'm trying to piece together which pieces of maths to do first. It's... What? So you mean that until at least one mask is standing guard at the door of at least one doomed yeah, it's because he's trailing off. He's clearly got more to say. That's not the end of the sentence. But I don't know what he's implying by that. Fuck it, let's click it anyway. That's precisely what I mean. You are incredibly sagacious, Artemy Barack. What? At least one? You gotta be kidding me. We have every right to do this too. It's our theatre, not yours, isn't it? You pricks. I've wanted to call those guys pricks for this entire game. I think that's the reward, honestly. That's the reward I really wanted from this game. I don't care what the ending is. I just wanted to call those guys pricks, canonically. Canonically tell them what I think of them. That's 11, presumably. 50 minutes to go. I know the town isn't supposed to be getting shelled, but I think I might get out of it anyway. You know? Better safe than sorry. They're aiming at the polyhedron, but it's possible a bullet could go astray. A mortar shell could go astray, and I don't particularly want to take that to the face. So I'm gonna leave town, I think. Spend my final moments out in the fields. Seeing if I can actually track down get a better understanding of what these herbs look like. For future reference, you know? For my next life. My future incantation. Incarnation, that's the word I wanted, not incantation. That's a spell. That's some wizarding shit. Definitely not the word I wanted in that context. I do my best with words, I really do. Some of them are quite hard though. Hello. I can't have it. It's my inventory full. No. Why can't I have you? What makes you so special? Huh. That's weird. I guess that's one of those plants that just sort of glows softly to itself, you know? That wasn't a glow to indicate that it can be interacted with. It was an in-universe glow, a canonical glow, if you will. You get too close to them and they just start illuminating. That's a precariously balanced pile of rocks, isn't it? I mean, not more so than half the structures in town, but looks very hazardous. I'm gonna walk underneath it for good luck. I feel lucky now. 20 minutes to go. I think I'm about to reach the bounds. I don't think there's any more forward I can go at this point. The end of existence as we know it. The tip of Bodo's tail. It's a shame the draw distance is so low, or the atmospheric fog is so thick, or whatever. I'd quite like to have an overview of the town from here, you know? Get at one last glimpse of it. Instead, we'll get one last glimpse of some trains. Choo-choo. Is that a gun? Has this train got a gun? There's more army shit. I guess it is, huh? I knew they had the big gun. I didn't realise they had these slightly smaller ones as well. I've only got to shoot down the polyhedron. It's precariously balanced on a pinhead. I don't think it's going to take much cannon fire to do that, to be honest. Oh, there's the danger boys again. Give them a wide berth. Don't particularly want to get shot after all this. I'd truly have nothing to say into this microphone by then. Have to do all this for a third time. Can I get up on the rocks? No. No rock climbing activities for young Barack. Maybe I'll just go wading instead. Is there a rainbow in that river? It's not a reflection of the skybox, is it? It's just like another texture overlaid on the water that sort of follows you around. Strangely colourful. There it is. Symbolic. It's the polyhedron falling off the town, I suppose. We did it! Now kiss. Oh, the blood, presumably, in milk pails. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Digging up nasty, stinky blood from under the ground and giving it to people to cure them of a disease. But No weirder than the rest of the game, in all honesty. Hooray! A new dawn is dawning. There's creepy children sitting on the knockin. There's creepy Capella being creepy Capella. Everyone's just hanging out and being kids because I guess all the adults got removed in the purge. So the kids the only people who survived? Is that what we have to take away from this? Well, that, I guess, was 1/3 of Pathologic. Not all of it by any stretch, but I think I'll still do a bit of a wrap up here. As I say, I'm fully intending to come back to this, to circle back round and do probably another 45 episodes, to be honest, playing through the remaining 2 campaigns. But I will be taking a short break. Still haven't really decided what I want to play next on the channel. I'm sure I'll find something. Don't you worry about that. There's always more video games, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna take a short break, cleanse the old palate, get the pathologic stank off me for a little while before I throw myself back into those muddy waters. So yeah, quick wrap up while the credits roll. What did I think of Pathologic? I mean, I've made my opinions on Pathologic very clear over and over again throughout the course of this playthrough, so I don't really think there's a great deal extra to add at this point. It's definitely unique. It's definitely distinctive. It's its own thing, and it's very proud to be its own thing, and it doesn't really care to ape what other games have succeeded in doing, for better or for worse, you know. I'm always a big fan of a game that tries new things, that tries to push the boundaries or whatever. And let's be real, even putting aside the weirdness of it and the odd game, you know, the quote unquote bad game design and the obtuseness of the entire experience, putting that to one side for a second, this game was a little bit of an innovator, realistically, because I can't really think of another, like, survival game that dates back as far as this one, right? I mean, the likes of Rust and Ark and all of those, and Minecraft for that matter, although even Minecraft didn't have survival mechanics like these in it for a while. It didn't even have a hunger meter for a good few years from what I remember. Those games didn't come along until like 5 years after this, right? So I don't know, I mean, there might be examples of older survival games. I'm sure, like, there's some fucking weird 80s RPGs that do similar things, but not as, like, the core mechanic. So it was like a bit of a trendsetter for that, I would say. On top of, obviously, just going its own way for the entirety of its development. I've just noticed that the lead person in the English localization team was called Groan, and I think that's very, very apt. But yeah, it's hard to say I had a good time playing Pathologic. It's very hard to say that, and I don't think you're really meant to, is the thing. I think that's what you need to understand going into Pathologic. If you're looking for a good time, this isn't the place to be. Because it's a game that will repeatedly punish you and kick you to the floor and then boot you in the face while you're on the floor just for the crime of wanting to play it. But despite that, there is just that compelling nature to it, isn't there? There is something about it, something that's hard to pin down, something that's hard to point at and say, this is what keeps me coming back. But something kept me coming back, and I played through the whole thing. I played through a whole campaign at least, and I'm glad I did. I feel like there's a lot to uncover still in this game, but I'm sort of now, at long last, starting to get a vague grasp of what was going on in it. I think And bear in mind, I'm not a game designer, so what I say is only my opinion at the end of the day, but I think it would have benefited with some slightly clearer dialogue. I think that's probably my biggest gripe with it. Not the punishing nature or the general weirdness of it, but the fact that it was sometimes quite difficult to understand what your existence even was, you know? You'd have like a vague quest, but it would never be super clear, like, what you were doing and why, particularly. It was just like, hey, go kill these guys because I said so. And you do it because it's a video game, but it's... I was having difficulties diving into the whys and the wherefores and the general lore of the game, just because of how dense the writing was. Obviously, I admit this is probably largely down to the translation from Russian, which probably added an extra layer of convolution to it. But even so, I think it sort of went out of its way to be obtuse. And I'm sure a lot of people like it for that, but I feel like it could have just been a little bit easier to understand. Maybe, and I said this 40 episodes ago now at this point, but maybe tutorialized itself a little bit better. There were game mechanics that I just didn't understand until... I mean, there's probably game mechanics I still don't understand, truth be told. But, if it wasn't for you guys throwing me a bone in the comments section, I probably would not have grasped anywhere near as much of this game. I probably wouldn't have finished the game, truth be told, because it doesn't make it clear how exactly you're supposed to go about not dying constantly. I mean, the Schmauder thing's case in point, realistically, isn't it? Like, quite possibly the most important item you can get in the game is traded to you by a single type of NPC 1 in 50 times you speak to him. You know what I mean? Like, that's... And there's absolutely no clues that that's what you're supposed to be doing throughout the entire game. If I hadn't googled it, I wouldn't have known that that was how I was supposed to be saving my bound, you know? So I think it could have used a bit more direction. I think that's probably my biggest takeaway from all this, is that the game could have potentially helped guide the player slightly better. Better UX, user experience, I think, is something this game could have done with. As I say, that's just my opinion. I think a lot of people do get a lot out of the fact that the game is as obtuse as it is. I keep saying that word, I quite like it though, obtuse. What the fuck is just... Sorry, I just keep occasionally looking over at the list of names, and there's just like a load of people and then cool things in the middle of it. Whatever. I'm derailing myself here, but to be fair, I don't think I really had much more to add. I mean, it's a shame that the sequel doesn't have all 3 campaigns, because I am intrigued to play. Well, as I say, it's not really a sequel, is it? It's a second remake, Pathologic 2. It's a big shame that Pathologic 2 isn't feature complete or whatever, because from what I've seen of that, looking at trailers and stuff on Steam, it does look a lot more playable than this one. I don't know if it does address the convoluted nature of it at all, you know, make baby steps in that direction at all. But it does at least look and feel a little better from what I've seen. So I don't know, I mean, maybe eventually that will get extra content. I haven't looked into it. I don't know if there's plans to finish development, or if it's only ever going to be the one campaign. I don't actually know. But, oh, there we go. I guess the credits ended. All that said, thanks for watching. This has been a hell of a long series. I think my longest on my channel. I think previous to this it was Leopard Tactics, which just scraped 40, I think. I don't think I've Has there been anything else that's been super long? I don't know. I think there might have been. But I don't think anything's gone quite this many videos before, so, and there's still a lot more to come. So thanks for sticking with it. It's been a pleasure. Again, yeah, gonna take a short break, but I will be back, don't you worry. We're gonna see everything this game has to offer if it fucking kills me. Yeah, I'll see you around. Bye for now.